What's going down, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the Comic Bookies podcast. We're just setting up shop right here. Thank you all for joining us for the 160th episode of the show. Okay. All right. Once you guys are good, let me know. Catching plenty of this noise in the background, Mark, so I'll be able to get rid of it. Okay, what the French toast? Dave Moody.
Who?
Dave Moody. Saw a tweet. I just saw a tweet from him.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hey.
All right. Everyone got your mics all set up?
I hope.
You sound a little far away, Mark, or at least not on your mic.
Yeah, I haven't got myself in position yet.
Okay, cool.
I took a shower right before
I can smell you. Get off the
right
elevator.
before I started recording, and it's hella hot. I'm like sweating over here. Almost feel like putting in my AirPods so I don't have these. Actually, I'm gonna try that real quick. Hold on.
Well, I'm going to do the intro, and then we'll get going. So, give me 10 seconds of silence. We'll start this 160th episode intro in 3,
This might work better.
2, and 1.
Hello? Say something?
Sounds like shit.
No. Well, I know because
Oh, you're just testing if you can hear it.
I need to change the mic.
Okay. All right. 3, 2. Welcome in, fans. Welcome in, fans, to another episode of the Comic Bookies podcast. Here we are for episode 160. Got a lot to get into, so let's roll. Or as Russell Wilson says, let's ride. In sports this week, we have a preview to NFL Week 2, but before that, NFL Week 1 is in the books. So we have, of course, the post Monday Night Football overreactions from the Comic Bookies, and yes, we have a check-in from the Super Contest, and one of us did not do well at all. College football Week 2 reactions, and also Week 3 previews, and NASCAR playoffs ends the first round, at the night race in Bristol. We have reactions from Kansas. And over in comic books and entertainment news, we have lots of books to get into. DC, Image, Vault Comics, AWA, Marvel, just to name a few. And in news, Sean is back, so House of Dragons and the new Lord of the Rings shows and The Boys It Is under discussions, and everything you need to know from D23 convention. This is episode 160. Let's roll, baby. Okay, cool.
Very nice.
And then you're close to your mic too, Sean, or are you far away?
I'm like right here, like.
Oh yeah. Oh, see, it's definitely a difference when you're like farther back for sure. Doesn't sound bad. Just you can definitely. Like, I bet you I sound a lot different right here than, like, right here.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it doesn't sound bad.
I'm gonna move it right. Readjust. Oh, there we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Let's get out of here. Let's get into here. All right. We are in business. Okay, cool. All right, let's go back live in. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Back live in 3, 2, 1. And as And as that music fades, we are back with the 160th issue of the Comic Bookies podcast. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube or listening wherever you get your podcasts. This issue, like every other issue, is brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. This week, Wednesday, September 14th, 2022, is New Comic Book Day. Go out and support your local comic book shop wherever you are. But for us, it is Alex over at TI. He can get you your books any way you want. Walk in and get them. He can walk them out to you in the parking lot, or like myself, he can mail them to you. But yeah, go and get those books and read more comics. Mark, Sean, welcome back. It was a very eventful week one. We'll get into in a minute, but not so good for our teams. Not so good for myself in the contest. Mark, on the other hand, did well. But yeah, I can't wait to start this podcast off right. What's up, fellas?
What up, man? Happy Monday evening. Things are good, bro. The heat wave is gone. Let's get that out of the way, so I'm in a better mood. I'm in a good mood. I don't got to worry about being cranky and all that stuff. But no, man, everything is good. Week one, super fun, exciting. Like you said, it sucks that our team lost. We'll get into all that stuff later. But no, overall, it was a good week one, definitely. Mr. Mark, how you doing, boy?
Good, brother. Welcome back. Nice to have you on. Week one is in the books. Excited to talk about some actual games now. Get rid of, or be done with all the preseason hoopla and whatnot and just all the predictions. Now we kind of have a little bit of overreaction and underreaction, as we all like to do in these parts of town when it comes to these Monday morning quarterbacks and whatnot. But yeah, life's been all right, man. Just like I always like to say, these dog days of summer are winding down. That heat wave is over here in California. And hopefully it doesn't come back, because we need the rain a lot damn more than we need the heat, drying up all these lakes over here and whatnot. But, man, just excited to have some pigskin back. Kind of sucked because love NASCAR, but it was a little bit put on the back burner this week. But
you didn't do the
we're gonna get into.
You didn't do the Roddy Piper. You didn't do the picture-in-picture.
I didn't. I was at a buddy's house watching the Raider game, so I wasn't. But I did kind of have it on my phone. Not really any audio, but. Man, football's king, especially that week one right now. And when the gambling starts tickling, I got to itch it. So, but yeah, dude, it's just us, birthday's coming up in a couple months. I got Disneyland coming up in about a month. So we'll see, man.
Hold the phone.
Wow.
Hold the phone. You just didn't slip that in there and expect not to talk about it. What?
You know what?
Disneyland? Oh, man, for Halloween? I mean,
it's not.
Now, you guys have gone to Halloween before. That's like your thing, right? Like you guys really enjoy the Halloween, or is it just the right time for you to go?
Well, it's my daughter's birthday and it's my birthday, so it kind of makes sense.
Reason.
Make no mistake, Michael and Sean, it's not really my decision. If it was up to me, I'd be saving up to go to Phoenix down here in November, try to make Daytona over there in February, right?
You know what I'm saying?
So, but it's for the kid, and it kind of just got put together about 3 days ago. My wife kind of just said it. I mean, whatever. You know our situation. We're currently trying to buy a house and,
right.
make a better living. So going to Disneyland and spending money on the mouse ain't really, in my cards. But you know what I always say, Mark loved the kids, so got to do it for the kids. But
oh, man.
Be fun.
That's right.
Little weekend getaway. I enjoy driving. I like going down to, Southern California, different vibe than Northern California. And it's always fun to drive down there, check out a beach. And as you guys well know, and other people around the country and around the world, we get like an Indian summer here in these times of the year in the California Bay Area especially. And gets really warm, September, October, good time to hit some beaches without the coastal fog and all that. So yeah, we'll see, guys. But man, it's going to be a fun episode. 160 and getting closer, inching to 200, boys.
That's crazy you say that, because my next Disneyland trip, I'm super excited for, because guess what? I'm not bringing the kids.
That's gonna be a good time for
sure. Next February, just me and Danielle are going down there for. It's like a combination of everything. Like her birthday, our anniversary is the next month, and everything. I'm gonna try to corral my birthday into it in May, so it's like we don't have to spend money on me in May. Like let's just kind of do the whole thing like that weekend, and it's just us two have a nice weekend. So yeah, excited for you guys. That's awesome.
I think we went when she was 3 and 4, and we haven't gone when she was 5 or 6. So now that she's 7. Hopefully it won't be as hard. No strollers and whatnot. She's
Yeah.
older
Very
now,
true.
so I think it'll be
We all
fun.
got the Disneyland trip planned, man. I love it. Mark got the October trip. I got the end of November, and Mike got that February,
That's
bro.
cool.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, we hit all seasons, right? That means you hit Halloween. Sean, when does
Christmas starts on like November. I think the second week of
right? So
November, all Christmas stuff is up. So
you
we'll get the
should get
Christmas
Christmas, and then
decor.
we'll just have just regular ass Disneyland. But speaking
Yeah,
of
nothing
Disneyland, we
wrong with
have
that.
plenty of news to get into as far as Disney, Disney owned, properties and the actual theme parks. Yeah,
Entities.
all the entities and what you can expect in the next 2 to 3 years. So I can't wait to get into that. But let's get into the most important thing of the podcast for the next 22, 23 weeks, depending on how, upset the Raiders make me. But NFL Week 1 is in the books. Let's just jump right into it, fellas. So as everyone knows, we are here in the Bay Area or in California, right? So me and Mark, our Raiders lost, and Sean, your 49ers lost. Back to anything else you kind of wanted to, whether it be for fantasy, whether it be for your gambling purposes, our super contest. I will pull up the standings. We have the official standings and the updates from week 1, so we'll go ahead and get into that in a little bit. But as far as right now is concerned, Sean, Niners, what happened, man?
Just stupid self-inflicted mistakes, man. That's it. I'm happy with how Trey played, considering the circumstances and the weather and just the way the game went, man. He didn't do bad at all. I don't think you could have put Jimmy in there and he had done any better. I might as well just get that out of the way before I hear certain people, not in the podcast, but just anyone, oh, Jimmy should have played. And Jimmy wouldn't have won that game either. We had 3 third downs that we got stops on, but we also committed a first down penalty, and Chicago scored touchdowns on all those drives. There's the game. It was discipline. I think we had the second or third most penalties in week 1, the most, I believe, penalty yards. There's nothing more to say. There really is nothing more to say. I mean, if we could have won 7-0, I wouldn't have cared. Just get out of there with the win. The weather sucked. Didn't want no one to get hurt. Elijah Mitchell, of course, he goes down. What are the odds of that? Niner running back. But yeah, just a tough week. But good thing is we got 16 more weeks, just like you guys. So this is all just try to bounce back. Mark, I'm sure you watch football weekend. Your guys' Raiders, tough loss. You guys right there. And hey, I watched that game. You guys are going to be able to pull it out. What do you think, bro?
Gambling purposes, I'll tell you what, 49ers blew up a lot of money line parlays,
Hell yeah.
a lot of
Tell me about
teasers, a lot of talking heads. I heard a lot of, people that I follow and, professional type handicappers out there. A lot of guys were taking Niners on the teasing them down to -1. It seemed a little bit easy to me. Bears, although I do not like playing, teams with like newer head coaches, I did stay away from this game personally. I took it in one of my contests, which, helped me propel myself to 3-2 in that one. But, I kind of like the Bears in this spot. Obviously, the Niners going away. We saw the field conditions, Justin Fields in his second year, so he's got one more year under his belt, than Trey did. So, I kind of like the Bears here as a home underdog. But, I'll get to the Raiders in a little bit. I know Mike wants to, touch on that one, but another game that was a big, underdog that was divisional here was the Steelers and Bengals. That one was crazy in the overtime. I said, we're about to have 2 games went up in a tie. You usually don't get 2 ties in a whole season. And it was looking like we were going to end up with 2 ties there, but that didn't come to fruition. The Steelers obviously handled that one 23-20 with Joe Burrow having a horrible first half, man. And, I think he wants to put that away. That's good that it happened early in the season, first game. But, I think he had like an appendectomy, I believe. So he, like Derek Carr, also didn't see one preseason snap. And I think this is going to start changing because a lot of these teams, man, I think it's going to be, kind of put more emphasis on them having to play at least a game or a series in the preseason, because you saw Derek Carr come out there with 3 turnovers. You saw Burrow with like a couple turnovers, and
5.
it's just, it's like they need real time, game snaps and whatnot. And I think that maybe they could have played a little bit better, both teams, the Raiders and the Bengals, if they would have had more snaps.
I gotta cut you off, Mark, for like 1 second, just so my thought doesn't go away. To what you just said, for all the people that hate preseason, they made it a stat on Twitter. I don't know who the hell I follow that posted it, but they said quarterbacks after tonight were 3-8. Who didn't start or who didn't play a single snap in the preseason.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was another one. So, I mean, it's true. You can get all the scrimmage you want, these little joint practices, but you need live action. And
Live action.
Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
I mean, those 3 turnovers from Carr, obviously, like Mike said, points off turnovers, they got 10. We lose by 5. That's the game right there. And just those are just bad mistakes, underthrown, and, just... I don't know, man.
Right. Because you threw out there a few stats earlier today when we were texting that the Chargers and the Raiders had identical stats. I forgot what they were. I think they were first downs and yards per play.
18 first downs, 5.7 yards per play. It was identical. You're right.
Right. So.
And the Raiders turned it up a little bit on defense coming up in the second half. They played good, right? Herbert, you hold Herbert to 24.
They had a few stops.
You hold
2 or 3 straight stops.
You hold Herbert to 24 points. That should be a win, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't happen. But you saw Miami. We talked about this in the season preview here about how I think New England, or myself personally, don't want to put words in your guys' mouth, but myself personally, I didn't think that New England was going to be as good this season. And here they are, it's only 7 points. I mentioned to you guys the lowest scoring teams this week, and man, what do you guys want to talk about that Sunday night game, man? I'll hand the floor to you guys to talk about, for one, did we think that is Dallas that bad, or is Tom just still that good after missing his preseason, right? That's a guy that doesn't miss a beat, though.
Right. I mean, even when Dak was playing before he got hurt, they weren't doing anything. They were doing absolutely not a lick of anything. It seems to me that the defense is going to keep them in games. The defense played pretty well. I mean, again, like we said with Herbert, you kept Tom Brady and all those weapons to less than 20 points and you're at home. Dallas Cowboys should come away with a win right there. Some of these games are you'll go back and it's like, damn, well, that was probably just the week 1 jitters, right? Like, get all this crap out of your system. Burrow, Carr, Dallas Cowboys offense. I'm sure they'll rebound, but some of these games were a little wacky to me.
That game was close too, and that's the thing. Like, for a while, it was like 12-3 for the longest time, and I'm like, Dallas, you guys are just one play away from getting back in the game. But there were certain stats to me. I'm just like, I think Zeke played only 51% of the snaps. CeeDee Lamb had like 2 drops. He didn't look like a receiver 1, in my opinion. I mean, now I'm really thinking they're regretting getting rid of Amari Cooper, because Amari Cooper, despite his stat line, was getting open all day in that Cleveland game. I'm like, that boy can still play some football.
Right.
And I mean, now you lose obviously Dak. I mean, sorry, Cooper Rush is not going to cut it. I mean, they're the only team that did not win in that NFC division, and there's no way in hell that they're going to be competing versus Philadelphia anytime soon. I mean, I think it's 8 weeks they want to say for Dak being gone. So I mean, if they win 3 games, if they go 500 God, that's a miracle. Win, but
right.
That's gonna be a miracle at this point, because their offense, they don't move the ball.
Speaking of that division, what about that second half just total meltdown by Tennessee, letting the Giants come back on the road? Dude, Saquon Barkley, though, he looked like his old self. 165 yards and a tug, dude. That was nice.
Look at that smile. Look at that smile you said it with, though, too. I think Saquon has that effect, man. People want Saquon healthy. People want Saquon good. Like, even like that coach. He's a new head coach. I don't know what team he came from, but like the way he was just grabbing players, hugging players, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Some good energy right there, man. Saquon looked good, bro.
Yeah. On the other hand, and the other New York team did not look good. The Jets just mustering up less than 10 points at home against the Ravens. And it was just some of those games where I thought that it would be closer, that I didn't put my name down for the contest. They ended up being kills, right? And then I put my name on the Niners, who I thought that they were going to go in there on the road and kill, and then they outright lose. The Bears outright covered them. Same with the Bengals. I put I thought that the Patriots and Dolphins was going to be a closer game. Boom, no. I was like, you know what, 7.5. It's kind of it's a trap, right, for the Jets and Ravens. Nope, it wasn't a trap. It was exactly who they thought it was, right? And then,
Well, you got to realize that it was Flacco starting that, right? It's not it. I mean, once I found out Flacco was starting that game,
Right.
I mean, dude's a statue going against his old team. It's like I wasn't expecting anything from the Jets with Flacco in there. And then if it would have been the other kid, what's his damn name? The one that was with the mom's friend.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Miss Wilson, yeah. If it was
he's
Wilson,
Miss Wilson.
a brain fart right there. Yeah, I mean, even with Zach Wilson, I wouldn't expect the Jets to win this game, but I would say that Zach Wilson probably would have made the line a little bit lower, but and probably gave him a better chance, but that didn't happen. And Ravens 24-9 there. Flacco,
Freaking Packers. Oh my God.
Oh, they look bad.
Oh Jesus, dude.
They look bad. I mean, that defense, on paper they got a really, really nice defense, but if that defense is on the field the whole damn game, I mean, you can only play defense for so long. Their offense, they can't no one catch the damn football.
Right. I mean, and then how bad the offense played tonight with Denver, and how bad the Raiders looked, at least in the first half against the Chargers. It looks to me like throughout a course of a 17-game season, it's going to be the Chargers or the Chiefs in that division. Those two teams just every play just look like overall the two better teams. Sorry.
Chiefs look like the Chiefs for damn sure. I mean, Mahomes, good God. Like, he's a homie. Like, he is so damn good. After freaking Thursday night, I said Josh Allen's the best thing to happen, bring some sliced bread at the quarterback position. And you see Mahomes just destroy the Cardinals. Tyreek leaves, okay.
Yeah,
next
who
man
cares?
up.
Yep. Yep.
Like I said, they still have the same staff, so same quarterback, same staff. This could, I mean,
plug and play.
Tom Brady 2.0 and the Chiefs over there at Kansas City. Look at Mike's face.
God.
Hey, Julio looked good though on Sunday night. Look a little Julio of old, Mr. Julio.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good.
Sean, before we get,
and I like to see Julio, kind of resurrect himself, because I feel like, I don't know if it's some of these players kind of give up on themselves, or like whatever happened. Like, one of the players that comes to mind, right, is like, I think he was still in, I don't know if he was in his prime, probably not in his prime. And, but I still think he had a couple years like left in him. And that was the receiver. What's his name, dude? From Dallas, dude. The receiver from Dallas.
Dez Bryant.
Dez Bryant, yes. Okay, he just left unexpectedly, right? Didn't get signed, got hurt. But I still think he could have been a good player. It's like, what happened in that situation?
It's football, bro. How many players just disappear? They just disappear, man.
It's so weird. It's like he was like a top-notch receiver, I think he still would have had it in him and just never came back to the league. And I even heard there was like rumblings of like teams wanting him and whatnot, but that's it. Boy never came back, man.
Good old fellow member of the TCB Super Contest, Aaron. He's on the chat right now.
Hey,
I think he's saying, I think this is in reference to the Giants coach. He came from Buffalo. Is that who it was?
That's who it is.
Offensive
Okay,
coordinator.
Dable, right?
Dable, yeah.
Yep.
And then he gives his little rant on the Raiders, how they should have won, 3-interception game, a questionable call on Hobbs at the goal line. But like myself, and I think I can speak for Mark, the defense looked better. Right, the first half was a little shaky, but the second half looked better. So, some optimism. Hopefully, my brother and his friend Bobby, hopefully they can take some good mojo into Vegas next week as they're going to the game against the Cardinals. So, and then help out your Niners too by
Yeah, man. Let's go Raiders, baby. You heard it. Let's go Raiders.
By sending them to 0-2. So, Sean, before we get into week 2 and just kind of previewing that, I saw your score. You were behind a lot, but did your guys do enough to get you the win in fantasy this week?
I needed 20 points from the homie Sutton, Russell Wilson, and McManus. I think I got that in the first half, so I did come out victorious. Yes, and I seen you came out victorious as well,
right? Oh my
God,
yeah. Like even with Burrow, I had what's his name? The running back, the kid from San Francisco.
Elijah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went out early. Godwin had a couple catches, 5 points.
He got
and then
hurt,
he got
too.
hurt too. So now he's out a couple weeks. I still have like Gibson and stuff to plug and play, but still, like those guys are out, and so I go into tonight's game exactly tied, like 123.42, but I had Denver's defense, but it looked grim in the beginning. I was like, oh no, they're gonna give up hella points, and I'm gonna get -1. Like I should have just not started them and taken the tie, but no, they ended up with like 5 or 6 points, but yeah, so both of us are 1-0.
Who had Cam Akers in the League of Mediocre Douchebags?
I forget.
Guilty.
Oh, did you start him too?
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, I got a goose egg. I got 0 points and I still won. Guilty.
Damn.
I love it.
And thank God Burrow because when they went to overtime, I was like, hell yeah, there's some garbage time, because he got hella garbage time to Jamar Chase in the second half. So he ended up still with like 23 points, even though he had 4 picks and a fumble loss. So
just imagine what it could have been.
Oh God, -3. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's get into week 2. So let's see. Thursday Night Football, like you see, if you're watching right now live on YouTube, you see the little snippet of the Chiefs and Chargers. I would say a top 5 game of the year so far in the first, easily at the end of the season. If these teams play like they should, it'll be a top, greatest game of the 2022 season. What are you guys looking for? You can start there or just continue on to any other game that you're looking for.
Man, I think that game's going to be huge for our division, right?
Yeah.
With Denver obviously losing, now you got 2 teams 1-0, 2 teams 0-1, and Denver's going to be obviously on a short week, so maybe they are playing. Who's Denver playing next week? Denver is playing.
I was just gonna ask you guys.
Denver Broncos are playing at home against the Houston Texans.
Okay,
who are 0-1. That was another one. Holy crap! Freaking Colts.
Yeah, so I can definitely probably see Denver winning that game, bounce back game for Russell Wilson and the boys over there at Mile High. But man, I think that I can also see the Raiders bouncing back. So
the bounce back week, Mark. It definitely is. You look at who we're facing. I think the Raiders will bounce back easily.
-6 against the Cardinals. That's a little bit a hefty number. I think it's little high because obviously Arizona is gonna be playing hard. Also, they don't want to start off the gate 0-2. So that's kind of a high number for me, guys. Looking at it here, Minnesota, they're underdogs after that showing in Green Bay, but they're plus, they're going to Philadelphia +1.5 underdogs.
We got
as
a
Green
doubleheader
Bay
on Monday too. Nice.
2 games on Monday. I seen that.
Huh.
Why is that?
I have no idea. one's on ESPN, one's on ABC, but they're all owned by the same entity. So
I think a couple of seasons ago they did 2 Monday nighters.
But for like 1 week, yeah, they've done that for a few years.
Week 1, yeah.
I think maybe the extra 17-game schedule try to just fit in more primetime games. But
maybe, and then of course Thursday, that game Chiefs and Chargers is the first where it's solely on Amazon Prime Video. So if you're listening or you're watching right now and you don't have Amazon Prime, you will not be able to watch this game on Thursday.
Oh, so it's only on Amazon Prime?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I think Indianapolis going on the road 2 straight weeks and not 2 straight weeks to a division rival, right? Now they got to go to Jacksonville in the humidity.
Ooh, thunderstorms
so good. As much as everybody wanted to say Frank Wright and the statue, which is Matt Ryan, is going to be, the number 1 contender out there in the AFC South, but they're looking here as a -4-point favorite. Jacksonville going to be playing at home as a home dog. I'm telling you, man, Indianapolis might, start 0-1-1 here, which, is going to be pretty big for that division, man. So it's good for the Jaguars, though. So that'll be an interesting game to watch. Miami going up to Baltimore.
That's a good game.
Baltimore,
that monster game, yep.
Now,
yeah, man.
Now, I see like the epitome of like a bounce back week. Like I could see the Rams at home against the Falcons just absolutely annihilating the Falcons. I can see the Patriots going into Pittsburgh and just totally annihilating the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? I could see these games. Actually, the Buccaneers Saints will probably be a good game. We don't know what kind of Jameis Winston we're going to see. So, the Lions are
every
Right.
time.
The Lions are favored for probably the 5th time in 20 years. They're at home against the Commanders. You know, there's some.
But
some good games.
honestly, I do
There's some
that
shit games.
Tampa Bay. I mean, they're on the road 2 weeks in a row. Also, there with New Orleans, always plays them tough.
Yeah, but they're indoors both
So-
those games. Really, there's no weather, and it's Tom Brady. He's played in everything, so nothing phases him. Not even
Watch out for that Superdome.
Not even time.
Or his wife.
Let's just hope that he doesn't think that he has 4 timeouts like he did last year in New Orleans. So, Sean, haven't even touched on your team. The Niners coming home to Levi's at home.
We're going to smack that ass.
Right. So
we're going to smack that ass.
So -8.5. Yeah, I would.
We're going to smack that ass.
I might be picking the Niners 2 straight weeks in the Super Contest. Yeah.
So you guys are that confident? Time to play against you guys.
Right.
When the confidence is spewing like that, I love it. I
That's
remember
just coming off a loss.
my buddy that got me into gambling like years ago, right? It was something we actually used to enjoy doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like on the Friday before the weekend starts, we going around talking to all the guys on the job sites, and we used to be like, hey, bro, let's just go ask everybody what they like, and we're just going to play against them. And then we would go up to everybody, and like it'd be like a matchup or whatever, like whatever. KC was playing the Browns when the Browns would suck, and everyone would just so confident about a team, and we would just be like, let's play against them. You come back to work on Monday, how the hell did they, it's just,
Right.
it's, these are all professionals. Yeah, some teams suck, but we're not playing teams, we're playing numbers here, right?
Mhm.
So when you look at it in that way, it's like, that's why I like the Bears. That's why I took Houston. That's,
Right.
It's like, especially week 1 when you don't know what you're getting. I mean, those points come in handy sometimes.
Right.
Unless you're Dallas Cowboys, where you need like at least plus 15 to try to get any.
Okay,
But-
so
It's pushing it.
right. So before we get into the to the Super Contest and kind of update you on where we're sitting at after week 1, what's one game you might be looking at to actually put either your hard-earned money on or to actually put something, your little click on our Super Contest? What's like one game that you guys are eyeballing this weekend? Because we already kind of ran down all the games, but something that you're really eyeballing.
What's the number for the Rams game?
The Rams is 10.5 on ESPN right now.
Oh, they hit double digits. Okay. If it was at like, nah. Oh, man. You know what?
It's high for a reason,
It's
Sean.
high for a reason. It is high for a reason. I do like the Rams. Actually, I kind of like the Raiders, actually, though. I kind of like the Raiders this week.
You know what? Last week I didn't really like the card at all last week. Did decent, right? This week I'm looking and I really like the card, so that means that I'm probably gonna do shit.
bad.
Right.
So I know I'm gonna tread with caution this week, man. So I got a lot of studying to do. One game here that I'll tell you guys about, and I'll also let the comic bookie fans know about. It looks intriguing to me. Carolina Panthers, good team, lost at home, but I like this New York Giants team this year for some reason, dude. Going back home to
Favorite, wow.
MetLife. Under a touchdown. That's a game that I'm going to see how that line moves during the week, and I'm going to keep tabs on that game. But that might be one that I might be interested in going on, forward in the
It's
week.
going to be hot and humid there at 80 degrees up in New York this weekend. So
I love it. Mikey the weatherman. You got to look at all types. You got
Yes,
to look
sir.
at all
Tangibles.
aspects of handicapping, man. Weather makes a huge deal in this
You know, it's
game.
gonna be-
So thank you for that,
You're very
Mike.
welcome. It's going to be a beautiful night in Green Bay. And speaking of bounce back, I don't usually like to lay it. Actually, you know what? No, I'm probably the one out of us 3 who likes laying it the most. But for double-digit points, it's prime time. It's Aaron Rodgers. I don't care. He doesn't have anybody to throw to, but he owns the Bears. Doesn't matter who their coach or their quarterback or their defense or whatever is. So I might be looking at Green Bay to cover a 10-point spread on Sunday Night Football. And then on the other end, like, I think how Tennessee kind of imploded in the second half. It's easy. I think it's easy to say that the Bills are going to cover a 10-point spread, but that one's like kind of throwing me for a loop. Is that a trap game? Is it going to be closer than we think, or the Bills just going to absolutely just blow them out of the water, by 40? That one's, I have 2 on different ends of the spectrum. Was my mentality on those 2 primetime games.
Yeah, I think I think I'm still gonna wait a little bit to short the Bills, man. Although I mean I do kind of like your thesis going forward with that with the 10 points. 10 points is a lot, but I mean they are at home. It's gonna be that Bills Mafia, right?
Right.
Home opener. Obviously
It's true.
Monday night. It's gonna be ruckus and man, kind of hard to play against that team. What we saw them do, but it is a week to week league, but yeah, I think you get. I think if you like the Bills, I think you wait off and I think you hold on. I think that number might tick down a little bit, closer to 9.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll get some professional money and some buyback on Tennessee with a double digit number there. There might be some Tannehill believers.
Okay. Okay. Well, what we have here is an update of the TCB Super Contest. We have 53 people who entered. It was funny because one of my people at work, they signed up like today or yesterday, so they obviously missed out on picking for this week. So they start 0-4, and that's, lo and behold, your boy here started 0-4 too. So it didn't matter if I signed up on last week or I signed up today; I would have been at the same freaking point. So myself and 5 other people start 0-4. Sean,
Don't throw them under the bus, buddy.
no, no,
Don't
no,
throw
no,
them.
no.
Not the
No,
offers.
Sean.
We got a couple offers.
Sean, you had 1 win. Mark, you are, with the Broncos not covering, that solidified, like you said in the text messages earlier, that no one went 4-0. So that's actually pretty cool. But you were one of the 13 people that started 3-1. So you got so a bunch of 2-2s.
Congrats,
a
Mark.
bunch. I think the majority. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So almost half of everyone only had 1 win. So that makes me feel pretty good. Almost.
I like the 4 game pick also.
Right.
In one of my other contests, I do 5 games, and I'll be honest with you, man. Especially in the NFL, with how tight these lines are, there's some weeks where it's kind of tough to find 5 games that you really like, right? Sometimes it's tough to find 4. So I like the way you set it up, Mike, and how we did it last year also, but 4 seems like the sweet spot, kind of, seems like a pretty good number.
Aaron's asking, we don't have to pick new teams each week, right? I don't know if that means like new teams, meaning
No.
like brand new.
Can't
No,
read
no. Like if you
Yeah.
pick the Niners this week, you can pick the Niners again. It's not like one of those
Yep.
survivor picks. It's just your 4 most confident games week 1, your 4 most confident games week 2. Everything just resets, and then the website keeps track of how good we're doing. But yeah, no, there's no. You can't pick the Eagles. You can't pick the Vikings. No, you can pick anybody you want from week to week. So, all right, cool. Well, that's it for NFL talk. It's been a cool week, and we got plenty more. 17 more weeks, 16 more games to get into. So I cannot wait. But let's jump into college football. You guys were talking before the show. Plenty of upsets to talk about from this previous week, and a handful of top 25 matchups to look forward to this week. So I'll let either one of you guys take it away.
I guess, Mark, when's the last time we've seen this many top 10 teams lose against the type of teams that they lost against?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, tell me about it, man. I know we were talking about it in pre-production, but it's pretty wild. And not to, get too long on college football here, but it's just crazy, dude. Texas A&M goes down at home, dude, just against App State, right? App State, obviously. And who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that App State, after playing that week 1 game against North Carolina, that what was it, a triple overtime thriller?
Right.
And it was like 110 plus points scored between both teams. And you think App State just has to go on the road, obviously, to go to freaking College Station, right? And have to play Jimbo in the number 1 recruiting class and whatnot. And just to, for A&M to lay an egg like that, it's pretty, embarrassing in my opinion. SEC and just, man, that was a wild game. You also saw another team in the SEC that was about a 6-point favorite lose, and the Florida Gators over there having back-to-back games at the Swamp. But yeah, losing to Kentucky. And, man, Kentucky, you kind of taking them serious as a football school these days, right? Always known as a basketball school, but they've been playing pretty good. And, of course, who can you not forget to mention but Alabama going to Austin, Texas and playing those Longhorns and barely squeaking out a 20-19 win with the quarterback for Texas and Ewers going down in the first quarter. And backup held him in the game. Alabama could have lost that game, really could have. But Bryce Young, 27 for 39 at 213 yards and 1 touchdown only. But they survive. Sean, what did you think about week 2? What do you like? What are you looking at for week 3? But Mike, if you want to talk about your USC too, man, that was USC, a big win.
Man. I mean, they jumped up a lot. They're number 7 now, hosting Fresno State this week. So, I mean, as far as a cover is concerned, I mean, I was talking to you and my brother, you know, in the first week. I said Lincoln Riley's going to put up a boatload of points, so someone better score at least 40 to beat USC. So, you know, and then sure enough, they scored damn near almost over 30 points in the first half against Stanford. So, right. So, coming back home to the Coliseum against Fresno State, the Bulldogs, I definitely see a win. You know, it's going to be just a clear night, 72 degrees. And then there's actually in the top 25, there's only 2 games where both teams are in the top 25. You have a late game, actually. At 6 p.m. Pacific time, you have number 13 Miami visiting number 24 Texas A&M, and then you have earlier in the day, actually an afternoon game here at 12:30 up in Eugene, BYU and Oregon play number 12 versus number 25. So good slate of game. What's that?
Who's going to South Bend? I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. No, Cal.
Oh, Cal. I'm so sorry. It's Cal. Yeah,
Cal is good, and that's a team that I'm sorry. Excuse my ignorance. We were talking about upsets. How the hell did I not mention Marshall?
Jesus
going
Christ.
Into South Bend, getting that win over
I'm
Notre
happy
Dame.
You're bringing it up and not me, because
tell them Marshall 26-21 over Notre Dame in Notre Dame's house. You guys mentioned it in pre-pro. First Notre Dame head coach to lose their first 3 games in program history. Crazy. They're missing Brian Kelly at this moment, but I think, Notre Dame is going to turn around. I think they're going to pull it together, and I'd be scared if I was Cal going into South Bend this week.
I think we said the same thing about Marshall, though. They had that tough, good fight versus Ohio State. Oh, I feel bad for whoever's going into South Bend, and Marshall goes and upsets them, and then the starting quarterback for Notre Dame, he's out for this season. What's his name? Buchner, whatever his name is. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's Buchner. He's
not gonna play this year.
Buchner.
God. So, I mean, I don't know. I counted. It was 7 top 25 teams lost in week 2. So, again, good for parity. I mean, it's good some of these teams are winning, but it's just some of these losses are just garbage. Texas A&M at home. Jimbo, what we talked about again in pre-production, one of, if not the top recruiting class in. You don't lose against Appalachian State. I don't care. Care. Notre Dame, you don't lose versus Marshall. You don't.
Nebraska, you don't lose against Georgia Southern, I think.
Stop it.
Or Southern Miss, or what? Yeah.
I can't even fired. It's like the Chiefs going up against Jacksonville. It might be worse than that, actually. This is literally you pick the best players.
But this is why I love college football, because it's it's not supposed to happen. It can't happen, but it does happen. And when it does happen, the kids, the school, they go crazy. The bands, that on the field, it's dude, I just love college football for that reason. Every game means so much, guys.
I love 100,000 people.
The Raiders, the Niners, they just lost. Like you just mentioned earlier, Sean, we still got 16 more weeks to pull it together. In college football, Notre Dame, they done. They done.
They have to go undefeated just to sniff the top 25 again this season.
Dude, you got in college football, it's you have to be on your A game every single week. Look at Alabama. Obviously, if they lost against Texas last week, they obviously wouldn't have been done because they're that good. But I mean, if Alabama, that's a Texas team that obviously is auditioning to be in the SEC, right? So they wanted to play Alabama tough. They know they're going to be in the SEC, right? But Alabama, if they would have lost that non-conference game, and thank you that it was in Austin, Texas, not on a neutral site like Saban and all these SEC schools always try to go to. But no, it was at Austin on a school campus, and it was a true road game for Alabama. If they would have lost that non-conference road game, and who knows, if they would have had a slip up somewhere in the SEC, Bama's left with 2 losses. It's going to be hard for the committee to put them in that top 4 after that happens, right? So, man, they had to squeak that one out. And just shout out, I don't know if we mentioned it, but shout out, yes, they're going to be expanding the college football playoff to 12 teams.
Right.
So no more of that 4 game, whatever. And a lot of the games are going to be on campuses, not at neutral sites. So I applaud them for that as well. But, man, college football, it's got a bright future. I love it. And it's great, man. So, but, yeah, just good games coming up, dude. That's kind of all I really got to say. Don't want to make the podcast too much longer than it has to, but it's going to be fun, dude.
I will say before we get to NASCAR real quick, I will say that the quarterback from Fresno State, Hayner, throwing just over 74% completion percentage, 737 yards so far this season. So with the defense kind of iffy for USC, expect the over-under. That's why it's set at 71.5. So, yeah.
And this week doesn't seem like the week that's going to have big marquee matchups either, So
not too many. No, you're right.
Not too many. So if there's a week to miss a certain Saturday sitting on the tube, like Miami at A&M, that might be good if A&M can pull themselves out. But we'll see, dude.
Right.
Gonna be fun.
And so if you're not going to be watching any football on Saturday night, then you might as well watch the good old Cup Series race, because it is the Saturday night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. So I'll be going back and forth. Actually, it starts at 4:30. So halfway through the race, I'll have to go to work, and then right when the race is over, I'll be able to watch USC at home against Fresno State at 7:30. But yeah, so here we go. The final race of the first round of the playoffs. We have 2 drivers now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Bubba Wallace, is he still a playoff driver? No,
Negative,
so he's not, right?
no.
So he's only going for the
Owners Championship.
Right. So, okay, so that means 2 non-playoff drivers win these first 2 races. So, like Harvick exits early, Reddick exits early. So a couple of these players, I think Reddick is in last place, I believe, in the standings right now of the 16. He's the last one out. So it's going to be interesting.
Did you, I mean, pardon my ignorance on not knowing as much about this race. I mentioned it earlier, but I put it on in the beginning. I almost forgot it was on in the middle during the Raider game, but I saw that. Do you know what happened to Harvick? I didn't catch.
I didn't either. I know he crashed. He got up in the wall, but I don't know how.
Poor guy. Guy has no luck, in these playoffs so far, and he's going to take like a miracle almost for him to get out of. I mean, I haven't checked the points, but with those last 2 finishes he had, it's not going to be good for him. It's almost like he's going to have to win at Bristol. Now, he is at Bristol, and he can do that, but it's crazy because we have 32 full-time drivers in the Cup Series, and we have 18 winners this year.
Crazy.
So this car has brought that parity that NASCAR was looking for. Has it brought other things as well that certain drivers aren't happy about? Well, yeah, but it also has brought the parity that the fans and, myself like to talk about. I like seeing these other teams win. Like I said, we got a Suarez to win. We got a Chastain to win. We got, a Reddick to win. We got a Briscoe to win. I mean, it's been a great season. And just a Bubba to win, and just a great season. And it's going to be crazy at Bristol. My guy, Joey Logano, obviously, he almost won the pole. Reddick beat him out. But Logano started P2 and finished P17, so kind of a lackluster performance on his finishing position there. But I think he's going to be obviously okay with points. But yeah, man, I'd like to see those 4 drivers, the Blue Oval boys, not get eliminated that fast.
Right.
But
so you have 3 forwards right now who are in the top 12 who are in safe right now. You have Joey Logano in 4th, Ryan Blaney in 5th. This is all based off points, and then Austin Cindric sits at the last spot in. The 4 drivers who are out right now: Kyle Busch sitting at 2 points behind. Austin Dillon, he sits 3 points behind. Chase Briscoe, he is 9 points behind, and Kevin Harvick is a lot of points behind.
35.
Yeah, so Kevin Harvick.
Who do we think?
Oh man.
On the bubble can possibly sneak in. I think
Kyle Busch. he won the. I mean, kind of lucky because the two guys in the front got into each other, but he won the Dirty Bristol earlier this season. So, but Kyle Busch, but a lot of these Toyotas drive really well. You know, Denny Hamlin drives well. Kyle Busch drives well. Martin Truex Jr., even though he's not a playoff driver, he'll be up there. You know, but even Kevin Harvick, you know, Kevin Harvick was the leader going into the last couple of laps of last year's night race, and Chase Elliott being a lap down kind of blocked him and allowed Kyle Larson to pass him, make the move on the final one or two laps, and then take that night race, which Kevin Harvick was not too happy about. That's what kind of started the whole feud, right? Where Harvick tried to get up into Chase at the Charlotte Roval, and then he just went straight into the wall and pretty much ended his season right there at the Charlotte Roval. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be another great race. Who knows? I know that Larson has had not last week, but he's had engine troubles 2 of the past 3 weeks. So I mean, he sits at 8th place right now. He sits a good amount of points above the cut line. It looks like 27 points above the cut line. So, but anything can happen. If he DNFs and other guys don't DNF, like that's all that it takes, right? Is one DNF right here this Saturday night, and you are done. Both of the Chevy guys from Trackhouse, Ross Chastain is in 9th. Daniel Suarez is in 10th. So we could see both Trackhouse guys move forward. Nice. So they'll need good finishes as well. But yeah. It's going to be a good race.
And just, I want to get into one quick thing real quick before I give you, or after I give you guys this odds here. Cup Series Championship odds updated, guys. Chase Elliott, Sean will be happy to hear that, about 4-1 for your favorite to win right now, the championship. Denny Hamlin, 5-1. Larson, about 7-8-1, depending what shop you're at. Same thing with Chastain. Joey Logano about 8-1, so you got a couple of drivers in that same range when it comes to Christopher Bell as well as a 9-1 with Blaney. So man, you got a lot of drivers benched up. Denny Hamlin and Elliott kind of seem to be ahead of the field, with obviously Kevin Harvick, a long shot, 33-1 with Reddick as well. Some of these drivers that probably looking like it's going to be grim for them to advance. But what I wanted to say, what I wanted to talk about. You guys see any value in any of these drivers? Sorry, before I got into what I was going to say.
I like
Logano 8-1, Bell 9-1, Blaney 9-1. I mean, Byron 10-1. I'd be looking at maybe a Hendrick car, maybe a Logano. Blaney hasn't showed me enough this year. Larson even almost hasn't showed me enough this year. I'm sorry to say that, Mike, but
that's true.
Elliott had a win that landed on his hands. He hasn't been as strong coming into these last couple races, but I don't know, man.
I kind of break
break
the playoffs into like the chunks, right? The 3 races, and then of course Phoenix, right? So this one right here, like Logano won the Dirty Bristol last year, the inaugural race last year. So Logano can easily win this race this weekend. He's always up there in the top 4 or 5. Always. I always see him. Always see Busch. Always see Hamlin, and then a couple of the Hendrick boys are always up there. So I think it's going to be the same thing to this Saturday night. And then going forward, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but I just saw this right now. I'm on like the NASCAR's website. Besides Chase Elliott with 17, who has the second most top 10s this year with 16?
Maybe Chastain.
Is it Kyle Busch?
No, it's Christopher Bell.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
no wonder he's the points leader right now.
He has been running good, though.
He has the
this
second
year.
most top 5s. He has 9 top 5s, only second to Chase, Larson, and Chastain's 10.
Consistency.
And then boom, 16. Only one shot.
Where did he get a win? Was it at the Monster Mile?
It was early,
it was
right?
earlier, I think.
It was early.
I think it might have been in not the Monster Mile, but Loudon, the Magic Mile in New Hampshire.
Last year he got his one win, the second race of the season at the Daytona road course. Right, because so
but he's been consistent, and he's good on those flat. He's good on those flat tracks. He's really, kind of coming into, getting good over there on that Toyota, man. Just good driver, quiet, just races people clean. Was always good in Xfinity, and I'm sure that with the news I'm about to say next, with Kyle Busch departing, I'm sure that Joe Gibbs is excited to be able to, retain a kid like Christopher Bell. But what are your guys' thoughts on Kyle Busch, man, leaving for RCR next year, and how that's going to affect, Reddick, which is obviously leaving for 2311 for 2024. Right. Are they going to add another car? They have to get another charter. How's that going to go?
Why are they letting him leave is my question.
Let's get ready for time, man.
It's like any other sport. You got contracts, right? Free agents.
He's getting ready for the grandson to step in. That's all it is.
You gotta go. I'm like, dude, the guy's still a dog, man.
They're gonna have some young blood because Truex is gonna retire. Busch is gone. Denny Hamlin's gonna either go to 2311, right? His own, he owns the team, so he was gonna go there and or retire. So you're going to have Bell, you're going to have Gibbs, and they're just going to bring either studs over from other teams, or they're just going to find the next two prodigies to be on Joe Gibbs Racing. By the way, Mark, good call. Christopher Bell's win was at New Hampshire on July 17th.
See, but you also speak about studs, but I will say, I feel like we're at a time that there aren't as many studs in the lower rankings. Like, yeah, the grandson in Gibbs is one of them. But other than like Gibbs, I mean, we got Gregson, which is also coming up next year and is going to be the teammate of a guy that just got his win also at the Southern 500, and Eric Jones. When Gregson comes up from Xfinity from that number 9 Junior Motorsports car and joins that 42 Petty GMS Petty GMS Gallagher Motorsports car.
That's true.
So, I mean, but you got a couple guys that are already going to come up. But other than that, I don't feel like it's when we had the Stenhouses, when we had the Larsons, when we had the Bells, when we had the Cindricks. We had like a lot of talent, the Reddicks. We had all this talent just being produced in Xfinity all at one time. Now, yes, they're talented drivers, but are they the names that are going to be the next Cup drivers in the future? I don't know if they're there yet. So we'll see, man. We're at a crazy transition point in this sport with, like you mentioned, a lot of drivers that are going to retire and a lot of changes going to be coming up. But it's always fun. I love silly season in NASCAR, and I hope you guys do too.
Don't forget Suarez won an Xfinity championship as well.
That's right. So, Suarez was another one that was up there. That's what I'm saying.
Stick around, bro. The boy has a chance.
Okay, cool.
Bubba was in Xfinity and Cups and was pretty good too. So it's like you had all these drivers, man.
It's true. If you guys can pick a winner real quick, and then we'll transition into comics and entertainment. Pick me a winner.
I'll go with Harvick.
I'm gonna go Hamlin.
He needs it.
You're gonna go Harvick? That'd be so awesome.
He needs it.
I'll go Hamlin.
I think if Harvick, I think people will race Harvick clean if he has, the people that weren't racing him clean. I think that unless it's, I think that they see where Harvick is coming from as of now. And I think that, I don't know. I like Harvick's chances, man.
Okay, Sean?
I'm going to go Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch. So we're going
he needs it
three
too.
of the old guys. Okay, cool.
He really needs it.
So remember, folks, that race is Saturday afternoon here on the West Coast, Saturday night over if you're on the East Coast out there in Bristol, Tennessee. Okay, let's transition into comic books. We have definitely, like every single week, we're going to shout out the comic books to our favorite publishers. But as we transition, we are the Comic Bookies. This is episode 160. You can find us on all social medias, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search the Comic Bookies. You're watching right now live on YouTube. So please search our channel and subscribe to get all of the, videos that we do, our shorts, which are few and far between, unfortunately. We just don't have the time sometimes. But also, you can catch us here live every single week. And, of course, subscribe to all of the podcasts wherever you can get your podcasts. We have iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon Prime Music. We're on all of those. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. And, yeah, that's pretty cool. And we are brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. That's our very generous sponsor. Alex over there is open Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, so go check him out when you can. But as far as comic books are concerned that are being released in 2 days on the 14th of September, from DC we have Wonder Woman 791, Superman Son of Kal-El 15, Batgirls number 10, and 2 brand new stories coming out, Batman vs. Robin 1, and based off of the upcoming movie, we have The Flash, Fastest Man Alive number 1. From Marvel, Amazing Spider-Man 9, Daredevil number 3, Venom 10, Iron Man 33, and another new one, Midnight Suns number 1. Image gives us King Spawn 14, Silver Coin 14 as well, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance number 11. Vault gives us Mindset number 3, and one of our favorites, AWA Sacrament number 2, comes out. Sean, you were gone last week. We had a good discussion on what we've read over the last couple weeks, but yeah, so you could start the conversations on what are some of the books that you've read last week or over the last few weeks that you enjoyed or you're excited for this week, sir.
I know I spoke to you prior to Mark joining and our pre-production. I am still on the Punisher, and it seems like I talk about that every week, but a fun aspect got added to it that there was a appearance from Daredevil.
Very nice.
So I'm very, very, very excited for the next issue. And speaking of Daredevil, I'm excited for the new Daredevil coming out this week. That's definitely been one of my favorites. You guys are the ones that got me on it. Let me see what else is coming out. And if you guys want to cut in, feel free to.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess I can shout out just a few of the ones that that I know that you guys don't read. Tyler Crook and this one from Dark Horse, The Lonesome Hunters. What a freaky book! These deranged crows that are they talk and they have and finally the old guy he meets the mother bird or whatever. It's just kind of an unreal book, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty funny and it's an easier read. It has a lot of dialogue, but it doesn't seem like I'm spending a lot of time on it. And of course, it's not like DC or Marvel where they charge $1 or $2 extra nowadays. It's still just a smallish price of $3.99.
Very nice.
Well, did you see that increase, Mike? Do you mention that because of that picture that I sent you when I circled the UPCs? I got 2 books last week that were $5.99, and I don't know if
pages?
That's a thing that.
I mean, it's probably 40 pages, 45 pages instead of your 29, 30 pages.
Is it just me, or am I not used to seeing too many $5.99 books? I feel like it's $6.99 or $4.99. The $5.99.
Yeah, I mean, last week I got a few. Because we got the one shot action, like the Superman one where he leaves the planet, he leaves there. I got the Flash annual, the Wonder Girl annual, that just pissed me off. How do you give me an annual when you've given me 5 issues over a 12-month span? That was just freaking ridiculous. And then 2 weeks ago, I got this Olympus Rebirth, where it was more like the Greek gods, and it was kind of set in, I think, Wonder Woman and stuff, but it was actually the Greek gods were actually living, right? So I didn't read that yet. I'll read it next week, but that was also a one shot that were all those big black labels that are $5.99 or $7.99, right? I know next week, Mark, we're going to be announcing, but it's the 30th anniversary of Harley Quinn next week, so I don't know if you got any variants. I think I'm getting 3 total issues. I think I subscribed to the OG, the A issue, and then I got, because I like some of the artists, I think I got 2 variants. So right, that's $30. That's 3 books, $9.99. So
what they're coming out with the 80-page giant? You mean?
Yeah, it's an anniversary special. Yeah, next week.
Oh. I didn't order that book.
Yeah, so I saw it was in one of the previews 2-3 months ago or whatever, and it showed all of the variants. And so when I ordered it, I was like, hey, I want the Harley Quinn 30th anniversary, original cover, and then the whatever, the Jock cover or whoever the artist was, the Michael Janine cover, so.
I'm definitely gonna have to grab them, but with a book like that, I don't get too worried about it because I know, Alex will obviously have a couple on the shelf when I get in there. So
one book,
big book, he'll have them.
One book that I'm really liking right now also is the Batman Fortress. So pretty much the whole world has gone under a blackout, and there's some Kryptonians, some aliens that are coming, and they're hunting down Superman, but Superman is nowhere to be found. Batman and Lex Luthor come together, and they go try to find the Fortress of Solitude, and it is absolutely gone. There's a huge crater where the Fortress of Solitude is supposed to be, so that's kind of how issue number 4 ends. They're just on the hunt for Mr. Clark Kent, and of course the Department of Truth just keeps on rolling. James Tynion again. Just an amazing issue for that one. Won't get too far into it. And one that was just an okay book. I kind of wanted to get it because I'm a fan. My daughter likes Gwen Stacy, so I got the 5-issue Spider-Gwen verse. That number 5 just ended. It was a pretty cool. I would say the ending was a lot better than the meat and potatoes of the story. So that was pretty good. So those are some of the books that I read from last week. that I know you guys aren't subscribed to.
Yeah, book. That Flash book that you mentioned, Mike. Do you know that's coming out this week? Is it a one shot, like just based on the movie,
No,
or is it like a
I
little?
think it's a mini series. I can find out for you later, come next week. But I think it's a series.
And another book here that none of us continue reading it. I mean, I got like the first issue or two, but it was kind of weird at first. But I have like a sneaky feeling that this book is probably pretty good. If anyone reads it, let us know. A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, number 11 comes out. I stopped reading it, but I have a feeling that, like I said, it's probably a decent book. So if anyone's reading it, let us get your take on it, please. I think it's kind of a slow week for me, guys. I'm excited, obviously, to get that Daredevil. So it's a Marvel for me this week with that amazing Spider-Man. Just a short week. I still got some books, the Flash, the annual that I got, and just got some stuff from last week still.
Oh,
Did
right.
you get,
But,
I know I asked Mike prior to you getting on, Mark. Did you get the last line?
I did. I have not read it yet. Did you read it?
I did read it. I did
Oh, you
read
did?
it.
Oh, you did read
man.
it. Okay, cool. So we'll make sure to read it for next week because I think that's my next week's book. So cool.
Yes, I
So,
actually really like
Thumbs
that
up or
one.
thumbs down?
Thumb
Okay.
up, thumb up. I actually really like it.
I like
a little
that.
aftershock. No, it's really good.
I will say that this week I only got 4 books. So when I emailed Alex my list, I told him to add 2 like number ones, like start of stories and stuff, so we can maybe start to accumulate a nice stack of books that I won't even read, but we can start giving them away, like do some freebie stuff, But yeah, I mean, so speaking of Spider-Man, the part of this week's stack that I read was Amazing Spider-Man number 8. It's pretty good, It's basically, it's like one of the ones where he's just fighting Vulture the whole issue, and he's trying to get the help of Mr. Osborn, aka Green Goblin, but he's kind of refusing,
Well, Vulture's pissed because his daughter or his granddaughter.
right? Yeah. So, I mean, I would definitely say this is one of the issues that I got the mentality of how I got in like the first 3, where I'm like, oh, dude, no, this is not very good. This is not very good. But then it sucked me back in, issues 4 through 7. So I know I don't want to expect this every single week, but it was just a so-so issue for me this week. Even though it was pretty cool when he had all those little spiders kind of blinding him, some of his gadgets are pretty badass. So yeah, but just a so-so one for me.
Captain America. Sentinel of Liberty, decent. Yeah, I mean, I probably like the Spider-Man story a little bit more, although the patriotism out of the the Captain America book is great. So, if you're gonna be reading any Captain America book, and I thought that they were supposed to be kind of intertwined stories, how the Sentinel of Liberty and what's the other one? What's the one that we're reading, Sean?
Sam Wilson?
Sam Wilson. I forgot
that one's good so far.
That one's better though. So
it's good.
I would recommend picking up that one if you're going to pick up any Captain America book right now that's ongoing. Symbol of Truth. That one's a little bit better. The son's like got himself in gambling debt, which is great for this podcast, right? We talk gambling and whatnot, but and comics, and here he is. The dad's a comic creator, and he's trying to get his dad to get all the rights and all the money that he's deserved, because obviously they built this whole world and movies and all of the money that comes flowing from what his dad created, and his dad's not getting the kickbacks. And now his son's just in a world of shit, right? Just 60,000 in the hole, just owes the bookie all types of money. The dad is trying to settle for money to try to help him out, to get him out of the situation. The son doesn't want him to settle because, he feels like he's getting lowballed for the amount of money. And it's just pretty crazy. The brother that's supposed to be the F up, right, is actually the one that's kind of more sane right now. And, the main character, the protagonist, is living like this undercover life that he's trying to hide himself from, like under the shadows, right? But like his parents are now finding out that he's a degenerate, and his brother's like, oh, I thought I was the bad one in the family. But turns out this guy's like got some skeletons in the closet and whatnot. And it's just a great story. I really enjoy it. issue 3 ends with the dad pretty much cutting a deal behind his back. And they gave him the rights just to the comics, right? Just to the comics. So they basically said, we'll handle the movies. We get all the rights to the movies and all the action figurines and whatnot. But the dad gets all the rights to the comics. And then issue 3 ends with the dad saying, we got the rights to the comics. We get to create comics together, son. And then the son that's in a bunch of debt and just gambling his ass off is like, what the? Like, the way it ended was great. It's a great book right now, dude. I thoroughly enjoy it. So I'm excited to see what's in 4. The dad thinks he's going to create comics with the son and get money again and just whatnot. And the dad, the kid just wants to gamble and just get himself in shit. But it's great, dude. I love it. So
That's good.
Check it out if you guys aren't, man. Fans, everybody. Love it.
I would say the last 2 books that I have to talk about, one is Action Comics number 1046. So pretty much Clark is there on Warworld. He's trying to get the what's it called, the Fire of Ogrun, and he is helped out by a few people. One in particular, Krillux, the guy with like the
Krylix,
Krillux, or DJ Krillux, right?
Pretty sick. I like that name.
Yeah. So he fights he fights the freaking guy who looks like Zeus, the huge guy. He gets the Fire of Ogrun, and then all of a sudden he's betrayed at the very end. And look who it is, but Mr. Mongol is there to take the Flame of Ogrun. Give me the flame, or I will kill these grubs before your eyes. So the 2 little kids, of course. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know if did you read the one shot?
I did read it.
Okay, so
I already ended the story.
Okay, so I will do that this week, so we'll get into that next week. But no, pretty good issue.
I'm just glad they're finally out of Warworld.
Right, and I'm so glad because I believe this month's DC previews had it was like Superman, Return of Kal-El. So I think now Clark is now off of Warworld and back. So I think that hopefully there's going to be now another Superman story. Right, where it's like Son of Kal-El. They can continue that one, but now they can have Action and Superman going at the same time. So hopefully we get that back. So, but overall good one. And then finally, we always want to end it with either Batman or Detective, but Ram 5 or Ram V, however you want to say it. But yeah, I mean, Bruce Wayne, not Batman. Bruce Wayne goes and takes a visit to newly saved Harvey Dent with his gold. It looks like
Mr. Dent.
It looks like Psycho Pirate, half a Psycho Pirate with the gold mask on. So yeah, but he doesn't want to help him out. He's not like that anymore, So what do you guys think about Detective Comics number 1063?
I enjoyed it, bro. I mean, it was pretty good. I like to see a different side of Dent, right? He comes out, he tries to do good, right? Just when a guy tries to get back on his feet, man, the devil's right there to knock him back down. So you got this like crazy, I don't even know who it is. It's like this lady that's like related to the old ancestors that founded Arkham, right?
Right. And then you have like the son who's like, he gets like some weird symbols on his face, and then he starts to like
he electrifies.
He starts to like transform, and then he's calmed down by this music box, like it's so random, right? But see, the thing that I want to mention is the name they keep throwing out there, and I'd have to ask Alex, but the name they keep throwing out there, like in the Nightmares, is Barbados, and Barbados was right, and Barbados was the main hooded figure who the Batman Who Laughs was working for in.
I was gonna ask you, have you heard him like in another story?
In Dark Knight's Death Metal, the one that was just made like a couple years ago when we were first introduced to the, Batman Who Laughs. If that's the same guy, I assume they wouldn't make someone brand new within a couple year span also named Barbados. So we'll see once the issues get rolling. But yeah, I think that's the same guy. His name was Barbados. It's so weird.
Do you ever think he's kind of like a what's the word that they say? They're not a villain. They're villains, but they try to do good, like an
anti-hero.
Yeah,
kind of like Harley Quinn, where she does good, but then I think Harvey Dent is more of a villain than Harley Quinn is. Like Harley Quinn's actually been like in like good. She's actually
Pretty good.
done good in the past. But Harvey Dent, I think he has an inner battle with himself, but the effed up side, the evil side, usually wins over. Usually, I haven't read a story where Harvey Dent has actually done something good and stays good, right? It's usually like he'll talk to himself, right, where it's like a normal dialogue bubble, and then it's like the messed up green or yellow, blah blah blah. Like, no, we have to do this, let's murder him, let's kill him, yeah, see? But and then so that's usually what.
But the poor guy couldn't do anything. He was trying to get away here, and Detective Man, and there comes up some. I don't know who it was, someone that works for obviously that lady in the sun, right? And puts that potion in his face, and now pretty much he's going to be living. The guy is, like I said, he's going to be like living vicariously through Dent, like seeing how like he's going to make Dent like the owner of the city again, but he's going to be able to see and like basically track all of Dent's moves and whatnot. So I was a little bit...
Tenclaw, that's who the guy was. Gale
Tenclaw. I mean, I was a little hesitant to see how Ram 5V. We have to figure out how to say that.
I know. Again, just ask
I like
Alex.
V better, but it could be 5. But I was a little skeptical on his arc and his story coming into it. But I think this issue sold me on being more optimistic for it for this story. I think it's actually going to be a good story. It seems pretty good.
It's dark as hell. It's
super
dark.
Very
I
trippy,
love it,
bro.
And
you like the hella trippy
and like it's not because it's also not hard to understand. Like sometimes like the Department of Truth is like trippy and dark as hell, but then sometimes I'm like, wait, is this like a drug-induced dream or is this real? Like what the hell's going on right now? Sometimes I feel like
speaking of the Department of Truth, that's another book that, not Department of Truth, but the writer from the Department of Truth has left us hanging. He's like left us in the middle of the lake.
I know.
With a house, and we haven't gotten an issue.
I will say that I just read the DC previews, and like issue 12 comes out, I think it's November.
Oh, does it?
Right, so I don't know if we're getting something in September or October, but like at least I don't even know where we left off. I don't know if you have it handy.
It's been like 3 or 4 months since we got a book, right?
And I think it's weird too because usually arcs come in 6 issues, so I think I saw like number 11 or 12 comes out like in November. So yeah, kind of weird.
Why are they doing that? It's like
Undiscovered Country does it. Noctera did it. What's it called? The one that you guys Geiger. It's doing it right now, but it's coming back, right?
Geiger.
Right, Geiger. It had like the 80 page.
It's been forever since getting Geiger.
It had the 80 page.
How was that 80 page Geiger?
It was cool. It definitely set up for like the new. Because what did I just subscribe to? It was in the world of Geiger, but it was the guy like in the army helmet or in the army, like the old school army. Something Joe, not like Smoking Joe, but it was like Soldier. I don't know.
Yeah, Smoking Joe or Soldier.
I don't know, something like that. Like I'll get the name of it soon. But yeah, but no, it was good. That's all the books I have though.
And then I feel like I haven't, or Berserker. I feel like that one's been a while.
Berserker's coming out. Berserker, I either saw it in the previews or it's coming out next week. There's another issue next week.
Berserker.
Yeah.
Matt Kent and Mr. Keanu Reeves story still.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's it for comics, then me and Sean have a little bit of talking to do about this certain show on HBO, certain show. I don't know. It's all right.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, I know, right? Never even heard of her. But House of Dragons, I think it's a great show so far. I have no complaints. Although I did have one complaint, like I told you in pre-production, episode 3 when Damon was when he was dragging out the crab feeder, just half of his torso, right? I wish that they would have shown them fighting, right? Yeah. But I will say that, definitely it's like his coming out party, right?
Damon, he a gangster,
and it was kind of weird because I was talking to Danielle after we watched the episode, like that scene where he's just standing there covered in blood, right? And then who also kills the boar and comes back to the camp covered in blood, but Rhaenyra. So they're both like they both let everyone know like we're here, like we're coming, right? So
Rhaenyra, she's just a rebel,
right.
bro. She doesn't want her father to find her a husband, a Lannister.
Exactly.
I
know.
Yes,
it's
bro.
pretty cool. Like seeing these names. It's like, oh, like another TY name, like Tyrion and Tywin. You know, like
That's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And the father, man, freaking got with her friend.
Mm-hmm. I know, right? And then had the couple babies. I mean, like, but you expect that. Hey, we've seen Stranger Things, right? We've seen like a brother and sister actually have kids together. So
it was actually, God, Jamie.
Yeah.
But it was actually good though that if anything he got with her because like that other little girl he was gonna get with, she's like what
so awkward.
Christ.
I know, right? So what did your mother tell you? Oh, she said I didn't have to bed you for another 2 years. Oh God.
The hell, dude? I guess a trippy ass.
I know, dude, but I mean, and then you have to think that the king is thinking twice about his who he wants to put as the heir to the throne, like because when they were hunting for the stag or whatever, it wasn't white.
Yeah.
It wasn't white because he was hunting it for his son. So I was like, what the hell? And then sure enough, when Rhaenyra is headed back to camp, sure enough, she sees the white stag. So it's like the symbol of royalty. Like, okay, so it's kind of, we're thinking, yep, she's the one who needs to be on the Iron Throne. So yeah, but it's a good one, dude. It's
Daemon, he wants it hella bad. And I mean, the thing is too, is Daemon's winning people over. Like you got, man, I'm not even gonna butcher his name. I'm gonna try his name, but of course the brother man with the blonde locks.
Right.
And his people, I mean, Damon's definitely won all those guys over, especially.
What's his nickname? Like the Sea Snake or the Sea something? Yeah.
It is.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so no, but definitely, because, well, that guy's been around the family for so long because he's married to the cousin, right? So, I mean.
And he's one of those, like, you want to be married to her? You want her on the Iron Throne? He is straight up, no bullshit. Mm-hmm. But no, Daemon, especially, I mean, we talked about how he killed, obviously, the crab feeder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying
the
correctly.
Crab feeder, yeah. I mean,
I just love the plan. There's like, these guys are just bunkered up in their freaking cave. They're not going to come out. And he just basically sacrificed himself,
here's his sword, and then boom, nope.
Bro, he'd have got hit by an arrow. A couple of times.
Right.
I mean, when all those arrows were going at him, come on now. That plan shouldn't have happened.
Right. But yeah. I mean, and then you knew the dragon was coming, too.
It's good so far. It is good. It's not slow for me actually, because even when they're just like talking, I'm like, okay, I'm actually like understanding like what's going on, like describing stuff, explaining stuff.
So how do you like? We've had 3 episodes in, but it spans like years, right? Because like between episode 2 and 3, they already had the brother, and then their friend's also pregnant again. And then when we saw the season previews, like Rhaenyra, the actress who plays her, we're not going to see her for much longer because she's going to be grown up, like the girl on the ship. That's older Rhaenyra. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how do you like that? Obviously, Game of Thrones spanned.
It's moving fast, bro. Because the first episode they said this is like
172 years before the time of.
So now
of
we're at like 150. Like we're slowly getting to where like
right.
I mean we're not gonna catch up to where we get to any characters, of course, but it's just like it makes you just think of we're gonna be getting introduced to hella new characters. We actually have to.
But I think it's cool because like why draw it out, right? Like if you're getting to like an end goal and they only plan on doing a season or 2 or whatever, then that's fine. Go ahead and do that. So in the first 3 episodes, if you want to span it over 3, 4, 5 years, because they said that remember they were in that war for like 3 years without any help, and so the king's kind of having his doubts like it's been like 3 years, like why do I want to send help now, right? So but so we'll see when we watch yesterday's episode, this week, how many more years that they progressed. So it's a good.
I just want to see what's next with Daemon. Daemon, that first episode, I'm like, this is a little punk ass. Yep, but nah, he's actually a pretty good villain. I don't even know what to call him, but. Nah, he's solid, though. I like him.
What I will say is I watched the first 2 episodes of the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, on Amazon Prime. Yes. Did you watch any of that?
I threw it on, but I got caught up in the middle of something, probably work-related or something. I had to turn it off. But how do you like it? Because I'm actually hearing some good things.
It's good. It's the story of, what's her name? Kate Blanchett, like when she was younger, like the witch lady who like that lady in the Lord of the Rings. So it's her younger, and then the other elf, crap. I forgot his name, but he's in the Lord of the Rings movies. He's the one who is like the elder elf in the Lord of the Rings saga. It's when they were younger. So
the movies are hella long.
Right, the movies are hella long.
So the shows, are they good? Are they slow? Or are they pretty good?
It's pretty good. They just defeated, Morgoth, I think his name is, and then Sauron was like one of the leaders for Morgoth, right? And they thought that all the orcs were gone, but now there's rumblings of like orcs taking over other small villages and stuff. So definitely the second episode was better than the first. But we'll keep it going because I know that when it premiered, it released 2 episodes at once, and so we decided to kind of drop everything and do that. And as far as Marvel's concerned, man, I'm behind. I'm only halfway through the season of Miss Marvel, and then we have to watch Thor, and then we have to watch She-Hulk. I'm like,
I watched episode 1 of She-Hulk. Actually, I did watch it.
Kind of far behind.
I liked it. Like it's
right,
cool.
Right. And then we get Charlie Cox as Daredevil in like 6 of those episodes, so like he's in it.
We will be talking about
right.
that. Yes.
So yeah. So I mean, that's kind of his introduction and stuff. But so far so good. Season 3, we'll talk about it so that way we can kind of get through the whole.
You got to finish it for sure,
the
bro.
whole season, right? So
it is so good. I love The Boys, man. That's a good one.
Okay, cool. So that's pretty much it for what we've been watching. And now, pretty much to end the podcast, to end the entertainment news, we have some news of D23. So for all of you, like Mark, he's going to get excited because he's going to Disneyland, one of the biggest Disney guys that we know, but like all the entities that
Avengers Land being updated too, expanded.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we have news to talk about. So we have news dealing with the parks. We have news dealing with Marvel, with Star Wars, with Disney and Pixar films. So wherever you guys want to start, kind of throwing out like, what we can expect or whatever, go ahead, man.
Before we get into D23, Mike, I thought you were going to give the fans your weekly update of Top Gun Maverick again, brother.
I'm done with that, dude. I didn't see it in the news, so I'm not going to report it. I hope that it's
no reporting on it. You're good.
Still up there. Still
in the theaters, though. I mean, why not? I mean, if people are still going to see it, why not?
Still making money, right?
I don't know if you listened last week, Sean, but Top Gun Maverick is the only movie in history to be number 1 in the box office both Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend. And
that's pretty cool, actually.
And that's pretty tough too because years and years, you got this summer blockbuster. You normally have like those ones coming out in June, July, August, or whatever that would then overtake that movie. But I don't know if it's a lack of movies that came out or whatever, or if it's that good.
Tom Cruise right here, big chillin'.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so D23 was last week. It's the yearly convention that they have where it's not like Comic-Con, but it's like a smaller version of it, but that's where they have a lot of panels that they announce numerous things in all of the Disney entities. So you have Marvel, like I mentioned, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, Pixar itself, and then of course the other theme parks. So I think I'm going to go ahead and highlight some of the things that we heard from the actual parks. So that way when Mark goes in October, Sean goes in November, and I myself go in February of next year, something that we can actually look forward to, So, but what's coming to Disney World, if you're going to be in the Orlando, Florida area, Happily Ever After will return to Magic Kingdom next year. That's one of the fireworks shows. That Tron Light Cycle run that they've been working on for years now will open up spring of 2023 in Magic Kingdom. A new Nightmare Spectacular is in development for Epcot and will debut next year. Figment, the little dragon, their little mascot down there at Epcot. Figment will make character appearances starting next year at Epcot. Let's see, what else do we have? When Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens at Disney World and Disneyland, so mind you, if no one knows what this is, Tiana's Bayou Adventure is taking the place, they're theming Splash Mountain to... the theme is going to be, the Princess and the Frog. So when Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens at Disney World and Disneyland in late 2024, it will feature the familiar voices of many of the actors who worked on The Princess and the Frog. This is coming from USA Today. Disney executive creative producer Charita Carter said the attraction, which is replacing Splash Mountain, also will use mists like a painter's canvas to create this amazing sense of aura, which is going to be different from anything that you have ever seen in an attraction. So it's pretty cool. So Disney, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Disney is also exploring retheming of Animal Kingdom's Dino Land that could incorporate Zootopia and Moana. So that's pretty cool because I've always wanted to go to Animal Kingdom. That's one of the parks I would really be excited for if I went there. And I love Zootopia. So that's pretty much Disney World and some of the highlights from Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. A towering Hulk will begin making appearances at Avengers Campus next week, as early as next week. So now you're going to have next week. So Mandalorian and Grogu from The Mandalorian will begin making character appearances at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge mid-November. Sir, boom, you're going to get to see The Mandalorian and Grogu, Sean. That's pretty cool.
Casey's taking a picture with Grogu for sure.
Right. While every Disney park will celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary starting next January, Disneyland will be the heart of the celebration with platinum-infused decor, new looks for Mickey, Minnie, and their pals, and 2 nighttime spectacular shows, Wondrous Journeys and World of Color 1. Let's see. A new multiverse-centered attraction coming to Disney California Adventure Avengers Campus will allow guests to fight alongside all the Avengers against every foe from every time period, according to Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige, who joined tomorrow on stage at D23. Quote, and you're going to meet a new villain, King Thanos. This is a new version of Thanos for the very first time coming into the MCU via this attraction. This is a Thanos that won, and the Avengers are not too happy about that, and you have to help them. It's pretty cool. California Adventure's Pacific Wharf area is being reimagined as San Francisco from the movie Big Hero 6, and guests will have the chance to meet Baymax. That is freaking awesome because I love going over there and getting like my chowder bread bowls. Awesome. Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel will be renamed Pixar Place Hotel when its reimagining is complete. You'll feel like you walked right into a Pixar art gallery. You'll see new interpretations of characters like Woody, Buzz will be there, Mike, 22, Miguel, Dante, and all the Disney Pixar characters that you can think of. And
I stay there.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it for like the actual park. So you guys start throwing out different, things from D23.
Yeah, for Marvel, Star Wars, a couple of the big things that people like. We obviously had the season 3 trailer for The Mandalorian, something to be excited for. We also had for Marvel the new trailer for Secret Invasions. Continuing on, we also had the Marvel's Thunderbolts talked about, as well as Loki Season 2, the first look on that. And to what Mike mentioned earlier, I know his new appearance in the She-Hulk Daredevil. There's going to be a new Daredevil show, guys, and it's going to be a basically start over. It's going to be the same characters as the Netflix show, but it's going to be basically kind of like starting all over, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we did talk about that, and I think of how many episodes?
18. Super long,
18 episodes.
Right? Like Andor is going to be
super
like
long.
12, which is so I like how they're getting a little longer. I like it.
And speaking on Andor, that's actually another show that's coming out that I think may have been the most buzz, Star Wars related, with 3 episodes premiering on September 21st. That's going to be super, super exciting for people. What else did we get? Looks like we had another trailer, for the new Black Panther, The King is Dead. Of course, Indiana Jones, number 5. I know Mr. Emotional, what's his name? Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was talking about it. I mean, I think this might be the last one. I mean,
he is old, bro.
He is super old, but I know I think he had like an emotional interview on it and kind of all the things that went into it, the emotional aspect to it. But yes, there was a trailer for it, so we'll see how that goes. Mark, definitely feel free to cut in. I know the new Avatar, they talked about that also.
Right, yeah.
That's going to be huge. I think they're replaying the older Avatar in theaters.
Yep.
Sometime in the next month,
couple weeks, they're going to replay it. So I will cut in, and the Thunderbolts, the movie that's coming out in July of 2024. Yes. The lineup is crazy. So we saw Elaine from Seinfeld, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. She's in the lineup. You have Ghost, that from the Ant-Man and the Wasp, that villain, Red Guardian and Black Widow's younger sister. Both of them are going to be in it.
Yep.
Winter Soldier U.S. agent who's like the kind of fake Captain America from Winter Soldier and Black Falcon Winter Soldier TV show, and then the villain from Black Widow movie, Taskmaster. So all these characters, we already know who they are, but they're coming together for this kind of dark superhero movie. So I think it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, I got, you know what I got for the fans? I got the news on Disney and Pixar Entertainment news that was released at D23. So if you guys are ready for it, I'm ready to deliver it. It's kind of a lot of stuff here, guys. But coming up June 16th next year, so a little bit less than a year from now, we got Elementals, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first look. Ember and Wade, played by Leah and Lewis, guys. It's pretty much a kind of a little love story about a man made of water and a woman made of fire falling in love. So, gonna be kind of fun there. We'll see how that goes.
Kind of sounds like every normal relationship in the world.
Yeah, right. Fire and water. I mean, yeah, earth, wind, and fire. Here we go, guys. Win or lose. This one looks kind of fun, man, especially for like your daughter, Maddie here, Mike. Pixar, it's going to be filmmakers Michael Yates, Carrie Hobson, and David Lally. Win or Lose is a series coming to Disney Plus, and it's a Pixar series that follows a young co-ed softball team. Each episode will observe the exact same story from the perspective of a different character. Will Forte starts as Coach Dan in Win or Lose. So that's going to be pretty good. And next we got here Elio, not as in Elio Castroneves, your four-time winner at the Indy 500, but Elio, a boy who finds himself transported across the galaxy and mistaken for the intergalactic ambassador of our planet Earth. Coming out in spring of 2024, Elio stars America Ferrera and Jonas Kibrib. So that one looks a little bit fun. Little kid, kind of I mean, what do you guys think? Did you guys see that one?
Yeah.
Or have you guys?
Yeah, no, I saw he has like an eye patch on, right?
Yeah. I mean, kind of cool little story, I guess. Don't know if I'd theater it, but I'd be willing to watch it, right?
Right.
We got Zootopia Plus, guys, coming to Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty much the mammal metropolis of Zootopia and Zootopia Plus. It's a short-filmed anthology series for the kids, so check it out, guys. It starts around Thanksgiving, November 9th, 2022. And speaking of 2022, let's go on to 2023 with Owaju, Journey into the futuristic version of Lagos, Nigeria, with the first look of Disney animation and Kugali Owaju. It's an all-new original series that's going to stream on Disney Plus, guys, in 2023. You guys heard of that one?
I did. I did. Like the still shot was like a little kid and like an older brother or a dad kind of running through the streets. That's what I saw.
And it looks like it looks like it's gonna.
Coloring looks
the animation
so dope,
looks
man,
really cool.
Sean, me and Sean always say that it looks like it's gonna be one of those Encantos, right? It's like,
oh, dude, it drives me crazy. I love it, man. It is so dope.
HD vision, XDR, and whatnot.
Right.
Strange World, guys, November 23. It's Disney's big movie this Thanksgiving, Strange World. It's a lighthearted, fast-paced. It's Clade. What does it say? The Clade family escaping a group of what looked like aliens mixed with spiders, and the dynamic was comical. Strange World stars. Oh, okay, here we go. Strange World stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid, Jabuki Young White, and Lucy Liu.
Oh,
and
cool.
it hits so it's it's got a cast of characters in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna save the best for last, but we got one more to go before we get there, Mike and Sean. Walt Disney Animation Studios revealed the first look at Wish.
Yeah, that's one I'm excited for.
Their all-new animated feature film explores how the iconic wishing star came to be. The showcase ended. We're not the comic booky showcase because I got one more to go, but this ended with a preview of Wish, and Ariana DeBose came out to sing the theme song of upcoming film set for fall 2023 release. Wish will be an Easter egg-filled Disney adventure that follows Asha, which was played by DeBose, a hero who calls to the stars for help. Disney seemed really excited to this one. So I can't wait to see the final product. This was written, all this information is coming from BuzzFeed.com, author Carlton Jamal. So
That one right there.
you wanted to say something on Wish?
Yeah, that one right there is set like before any of the other, like set in the timeline before any of these other Disney movies came to be.
Oh, really?
So
Nice.
before the time of Snow White, before the time of Zootopia, it was like,
Even before that?
it's like how the Wishing Star came to be, right? So before Pinocchio's time, it's like set before all the time, before all of our universes and all of the Disney settings came to be, right?
It's funny because I will say one thing is like how stars align. The Wishing Star, there is actually a very important part of the new Pinocchio movie on the Wishing Star.
Oh,
So that it's really crazy that like I was like, oh, it's like an aspect of a Wishing Star. Like, all right,
that's cool.
and they're actually making something on it. So
Yeah, right on.
definitely not by
All right,
accident.
and what's the last one, Mark?
The very last one to round out this news and probably the podcast, guys. One of my favorites, one of my daughter's personal favorites. Mike probably knows what it is. Disney's Pixar Inside Out 2
Right on.
coming out summer of 2024, which is probably argument for the most popular Riley next to Riley Curry. This is Riley, where she is based on the teenager now. So man, that's
cool.
gonna be see how she grew up and whatnot, if she's still into hockey, if she's still playing with the sticks over there. But very fun. I really am, myself and my daughter, and I'm sure you also, Mike, really enjoyed the first one. So there it is, man. Summer 2024. That's going to be my personal favorite on the list. Mike is Wish, and I don't know who Sean. I think Sean wants that Elio.
And keep a lookout. I don't know if we mentioned it, but keep a lookout this year. Hocus Pocus 2. And then also I saw a thing for the Percy Jackson Olympians and the Santa Clauses. Tim Allen is back with another.
No.
I think it's a series. I don't know if it's a movie.
I think it's a series.
Yeah, the Santa Clauses. So I know we missed a couple of them, like Loki season 2, Armor Wars. We missed a couple, but just go online and search it. You'll be able to find it. But that is episode 160 of the Comic Bookies podcast. Fellas, take us away, please.
Episode 160, man. I think it speaks for itself, man. All the sports, especially week 1 of the NFL, super fun, super special. But man, talking about D23, I think that may have been just a cherry on top. Everyone loves Disney and just all the happiness it brings people, except for obviously our wallets by the time we're done with Disneyland. But no, definitely good times with my brothers tonight, like it always is. I can't wait for week 2 because it officially starts tomorrow with us doing ad drops in fantasy, for us getting ready for the upcoming week. Gambling, and yeah, to the fans, definitely thank you for engaging. Definitely happy you guys joined the super contest. We had a goal of 40 people. We got 53 people. We got Navarro Bowman people, 53. So we're definitely happy. It's early in the season. Mark, Mike, you know what, Mike? You might be 0-4, but you can still win the contest. You can still win those $200. So no, definitely guys, keep engaging, keep supporting us, and hey man, let's go, boy.
Hey, brother, those Navarro Bowman numbers are nice, but hopefully next year we'll get those Alex Bowman numbers, if you know what I mean. So, thank you guys, ladies and gentlemen, all the fans around the world of the Comic Bookie podcast. We are welcome to have you each and every week here. Always, man, share the podcast. It's a little late now, but you can still start on the same foot with Mike the contest, but yes, thank you guys. If you guys want to reach out to us, as always, you can always do that on social media at the Comic Bookies, on Twitter, on Instagram, if you will. If you want to email us, thecomicbookies@gmail.com, you can get connected with us. And yes, thank you. Like Sean said, get ready to handicap. You'll probably be listening to this on Tuesday and Wednesday, and get your picks in. And have some fun, and I hope you guys all go 4-0 next week in the contest, and we appreciate you. So thank you guys.
Yes, sir. So let's round out the podcast with a couple of the numbers. So over the last 10 episodes here in the United States, we have the Bay Area is back up to number 1, SF, Oakland, San Jose. New York has crept into the 2nd spot. The Sacramento area, number 3. El Paso, Texas has crept up into the top 5, so number 4. And also back in the top 5 is Washington, D.C. So from coast to coast, we are here for you to collide the worlds of sports and comics. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and supporting us. 160 down. Cheers to the next 160, fellas. So for Mark and Sean, this is Mike. Episode 160 is done. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy the hell out of each other. See you all next week for week 3 of the NFL. Bye.
Peace.
Peace. Always enjoy each other and enjoy going 4-0 because I hope everybody does. We love you guys and stay safe. Enjoy week 2. Peace.